Hi, and welcome to the next video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about an experience I had in Shanghai, China. I'm going to call this the Jinmao incident or experience. So, I believe it was 2012 or 13 when I had first visited Shanghai, China. Like many of my trips, I had gone by myself because it's kind of hard to find a partner to travel with and get our schedules set. And I decided on this particular day to visit the Pudong area, in part because, if you ever see pictures of Shanghai, there's usually the same type of picture that you see, which is this, you see a river in the forefront of the image, and then you'll see this very modern skyline of skyscrapers and buildings. That's Pudong. So, had gone out there and decided, okay, I want to go up to, at the time, was the tallest building in Shanghai, which, I forget the exact name, but it wasn't the Jinmao Tower. I'll get to that one in a moment. And gone in there, went to the top, took a bunch of pictures, and decided, well, there's this other building down there, which is a very unusual shape, called the Jinmao building. Let me go check that place out. And I had seen from a lot of blogs that there was a nice view at I forget the particular floor, with like a restaurant bar area. Otherwise you have to pay a certain amount to go to another, one of the higher up areas. But this particular place was pretty high up and you didn't have to pay extra fees, just had to go there and drink or eat something. So I go, you know what, that was a good time, I'm gonna grab a snack and a beer. So get up there, sit down at a table, and it was probably late afternoon. So hung out there, in time to see kind of the lights dim and the sunset go, and just see the place light up and the city. But before that, I remember there was this Western expat who happened to come in and sit down at a table, a couple tables down from me, also by himself. So kind of just noticed each other, nodded, just kind of looked around, enjoyed my drink, and I think I ordered an appetizer. And just kind of enjoyed the view. A couple minutes in, this gentleman goes over and he goes, in English, you by yourself? I said, yeah. He's like, do you mind if I join you? I said, no, come by. So sits at my table and, we kind of exchange, oh, what are you doing here? I said, oh, I'm a teacher, but I'm traveling. He says, oh, I'm here on business, for X amount of time. We just wrapped up whatever his negotiation was, or meeting. And now he's just spending the time traveling. And I believe not sure if he was from Belgium or Germany. Anyway, Eastern Europe. And really nice guy, talked about, what he does for a living, and, that he likes to travel, and whenever he gets a chance to do meetings abroad, he likes to spend a few extra days just kind of going around, and he's in Shanghai, so he was spending a few more days there. And it was a good chat. What was interesting is he mentioned an incident that happened to him, and I say incident quite literally, where him and another buddy that met him up there had gone out drinking. So they had gone out drinking in Shanghai during this trip, and they met some local girls, and the girls seemed to be interested in them and were very chatty, and everyone was having drinks, and they said, hey, do you want to go to another bar? We know another bar that's pretty cool and it's a lot better. And him and the other guy, of course, are like, yeah, sure. So they go out there and have a few drinks, have a few more drinks. I think it was like rounds of whiskey. So the four of them, said, oh, let's get a round. They get 4 drinks. Let's get another round. 5 drinks come. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. Should probably close out the tab. And they motion, their Chinese was non-existent. So they motion for the tab, and 5 more drinks come. They're like, no. So eventually they communicate, hey, they want the tab. Slide the bill over to them. He looks at it, and it was, if I recall what the exchange was, it was like 1,000, either euro or US. mind you, they weren't drinking like Louis the 20th or some high-end bourbon or whiskey. It was just regular drinks. I don't know if it was Jack Daniels or something. But it was, from what he told me at the time, it wasn't anything high-end. So him and his friend are in shock. They're just, yeah, that's not what we, it's not what we ordered. Yes, it is. You asked for this. Like, no, I asked for the tab the last time and you gave me 5 drinks. I'm not paying for them. So after a little bit of back and forth, they were able to haggle down the price to maybe half of that. And then him and his friend paid and, weren't happy about it. And I mentioned to him, yeah, it's a scam. He's like, yeah, I'm guessing that's what it was. He's like, what usually happens is, and I've been in China long enough that I've heard of these stories where you'll go to a bar, you'll be approached by someone, and they mention some other place that you should go to, or it could even be the same place that you're in. Hey, how you doing? And oh, why don't you buy me a drink? And flirt and chat you up, and when you get the bill, it's a ridiculous amount because they think you're a tourist. You can't speak your way out of it. They may threaten to call the police, even though they won't, because unless the police are on the take, which they could be, police are not going to care. But they prey on your ignorance, and in his case, Pretty Face kind of suckered him and his friend in. Sorry. So it was a pretty crazy story, and I remember mentioning to him, you should have just called them out on their bluff, call the police. I'm not paying this. He's saying, well, didn't want any trouble, and so on. I said, well, but for the next time, first of all, don't start buying drinks for other people that you don't know. Even though you meant it as a nice thing and it seemed like they were being genuinely friendly, don't do that. And if something like that happens, just refuse and say you're calling the embassy or the police, and I guarantee you'll be able to haggle it down even more, or just say, oh, sorry, I don't have any RMB. What are you going to do to me? So anyway, the rest of the conversation with him was smooth, and we had a good chat. Otherwise, I just kind of felt bad that had happened to him. But be warned, stuff like that does happen, and I'm sure continues to happen. Especially, at least if you're not under lockdown, it's probably going to keep happening. Just have to be wary about it. But it was good to have a chat while on vacation with another expat. Even though it was a sad thing that happened to him, but at least to be able to share that and give advice and just talk about one another's day in life was pretty cool. So wherever you are, I hope you're doing well, especially in these times. And thanks for saying hi, and thanks for inviting yourself over. It was a good chat. Anyway, see you in the next video.